Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your England versus Wales pre-game live. Is a Matchday World Cup 2022 Matchday ticket. Carl Brooks kicking us off with me mum, and my dad, and my gran are off to Waterloo. No.
I think we had you singing that this morning, didn't we, on the WhatsApp?
You did? Yeah, that's when you know I'm excited about a game when I sing about it in the AM. How are you, first of all, Cruncher? Are you well?
I'm good. I'm excited. I've got a lovely away days. Dave's ponytail on the go.
Oh, very on brand.
I've got three of them.
Love that.
I've got three of them on my shelf, so I thought I better have one. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the game, mate, tonight. Hopefully, it'll be better than Friday.
Good man. Yeah. Well, it can't be unless we get beat. It can't be much worse than Friday. It was a boring waste of an evening, 0-0. But you know, any anxiety about it being Wales?
Look, I think when you look back on Friday, it was disappointing at the time, Mike. But it's a tournament. It's tournament football. We've got a point. We didn't play great, but then I remember us doing a show during the Euros when we played Scotland and we stunk the place out and it was 0-0. And look how that turned out. We got to the final and we probably should have won it. So I think we do overreact, don't we? Look, not just with town, with England, with everything. You know, it's always, like I said,
it was bad though.
Like I said to Colin, Colin said to me today when I texted him the team, it was leaked this afternoon. He said he wanted Grealish in, but it's always with England. It's always like I think Grealish said it the other day. Joe Cole said it the other day. It's always who isn't playing. You know, he can only select 11, Southgate, so he's gone with the 11 tonight, and we just hope that's the right team. And listen, we should beat the Welsh tonight, Martin.
We absolutely should. You know, if you take a step back from it being a local rival game, from it being Wales, we should have the better quality. We should have the greater sum of our parts. But football is also about emotion. It's about handling and managing that emotion, which we'll get to in just a second, I'm sure, with one of the names on the team sheet this evening. But Stephen Parry's glad Mason Mount isn't in. He's been playing. You know what? I've never seen Mason Mount play well for England. And I don't watch a lot of England games, granted, but I've never seen him play well.
I wouldn't say he's a bad player. He didn't have.
I didn't say he's a bad player. I said
he didn't cover himself in glory the other night, and not a lot of people did. But he's sort of one of them people who he's always on Southgate's team sheet, isn't he? So he trusts him. Look, he's not playing tonight, so let's concentrate on the 11 who we've started with.
Yeah, absolutely. Simon Harris says, has Cruncher got a storage container of football and cricket shirts?
I've got loads, mate.
I bet you have.
I bet.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's see what the lineup is tonight. Then, so this is your lineup: Pickford, Walker, Stones, Maguire, Shaw. Maguire, by the way, for all the stick he's been getting, was man of the match on Friday night. Henderson, Rice, Bellingham, was for my money. Rice, Bellingham, Foden, Kane, and Rashford. Let's kick things off with that number 8, Jordan Henderson. He's fifth. Is it his fifth World Cup? You're telling me?
Sixth. It's his sixth tournament for England.
5 too many. But anyway,
look, I thought at the time when we were watching the game on Friday, and you see he brought him on, and everyone's like, "Oh, why did you bring him on?" But I think he did give us a bit more control, Martin, in that midfield, because we got a little bit overrun there with Rice and Bellingham. I would have thought tonight Bellingham will probably play in front of them. Do you think?
Yes, probably. Henderson and Rice. No. Well, he doesn't.
Henderson's got the experience. Like I said to you earlier today, look, he's won Champions League. He's won it all at Liverpool. He's an experienced head, and I know you don't get the pulses racing, but you have to have these type of people in the team. Your water carriers, like when we had Cole Scouse at Town, they do that job, and he's done it for Liverpool. I know you said we might as well bring back James Milner.
I did. Could you say he's a professional? Well, they're all professionals.
He's a good pro. Look, you know what you're going to get with Henderson, and I think tonight it's probably. I'm not saying if we get through, because I think we'll get through tonight. I'm not saying he'd play the next game. He might do. He might play really well tonight. But I think tonight it gives you that little bit of experience in the middle of the pitch. It's a local derby, Martin. At the end of the day,
it is
England Wales. It's probably when we play Wales at football, it's probably a bigger game for Wales.
Oh, for sure. Of course it is. It's like little brother versus big brother, isn't it? His little brother always wants to get the one over the big brother. Absolutely.
But we still want to turn up tonight. We still got to turn up, and you still got to do the stuff on the pitch. I just think Wales. I think they got a lot of players there they work like Gareth Bale, Aaron Ramsey. I think Joe Allen playing tonight, Martin. I think he's in their lineup, isn't he?
I will have a look at their lineup and just.
So I think they're players who obviously they've done well in the Euros. They played earlier. They played on the BBC when we beat them in 2016. You know, and obviously they went on then to go far and they went to the semi-finals. But I think you're looking at back. That's like 6 years ago. You know, it's whenever that was. You know, that's a long time ago, and age catches up with everybody. And I think it's caught up with Bale. It's definitely caught up with Aaron Ramsey. He couldn't even get in Rangers team, Martin.
No.
So
this is why I was finding the Henderson selection, and I expect him after this now to have a man of the match performance. But that's why I was really perplexed by the Henderson select, and I still am a little bit because, you know, Wales again, the curse of the commentator, if it were, they might go and win this game now. But you're not facing, you know, Spain, France, the like. You're facing the players you've just mentioned, which, no disrespect, I don't think Rice or Bellingham should have too much of a tough time contending with them. You know, do they need the chaperone of Jordan?
Well, I think Bellingham plays a bit further forward, I think, tonight, and you've got enough attacking players there on the pitch to go and do damage. You know, so if Henderson sits in front of that back four, look, I don't think Wales. It might come back to bite me. I don't think Wales will lay a glove on us, Martin, tonight.
Well, they shouldn't do. They shouldn't do. Only if we allow them, you know, through the emotion of the game and everything. Obviously, a set piece. We saw that in some of the footages they were showing earlier with Wales and England. If you allow silly free kicks around your area, Father Time may have caught up with a couple of their players, but set pieces are still one thing Gareth Bale can certainly strike from distance. Just ask Joe Hart.
Yeah, they played that goal earlier. He was miles out, wasn't he? I remember at the time watching that game thinking, he ain't shooting from there. He's not scoring from there, is he? And then obviously it went in.
Feet were in mud,
tonight, it is emotion, and you have to deal with that. And I think you'll
and they're cornered, aren't they? They're cornered a little bit, aren't they? Because they've got to come out and perform.
Yeah, they have to. They have to win the game. They might have to win the game by 4 goals, so they can't sit back. I think that'll play into England's hands. If you watch the game when they played Iran cut through their defence, you know, with pace. I think, look, you've got Rashford in there, obviously. He's hit a bit of form with Man U. So, look, I think just they're going to come flying out the blocks, Martin. You might have 15, 20 minutes where they get up a bit out of steam. They'll probably have quite a few fans in the stadium. But take away that, play your football, keep the ball, make them work, make them run around. They've got older players. They'll tire. And they've got Kiefer Moore up front, the guy who we had in blue for town, he was
Trevor Amos.
He was
Joe Garner is better than Moore, says McCarthy. Heidi says, I thought I was watching BBC Wales, not BBC One. A lot of people are sort of commenting on the BBC coverage. I guess it's really difficult for BBC because they've got to have different hats on for the one. Like this right here could be pro England, only England, whereas when you're the national broadcaster, you're all of it. There's a comment here which I want to sort of flag, get your thoughts on it. Were Lee Bailey, it's funny how Foden is suddenly good enough.
Well, I don't think he wasn't good enough. It is a tournament, and look, I think it was when the Euros, everyone was, the press get behind a lot of people, don't they? It was Grealish back in the summer when he wasn't in the team, and the press got behind him.
In the Euros.
Yeah. Foden, for me, if he was Spanish, Martin, if he was Portuguese, if he was Brazilian, he'd be in the team every single game, and you'd build your team around him. And I think they said since 2020, when he played one of them Euros games, he hasn't started that many games for England, which it does surprise me. But does Southgate know where he's going to play him? You know, what positions he going to play him in? I think, look, Pep Guardiola's called him world class. So
Pep Guardiola. Didn't he say though, Southgate, that he didn't introduce Foden on Friday because he wasn't a player he felt could play in the central areas because he doesn't do it for Man City? Did I hear that right?
He did say that. Yeah, he did say that.
That's a fair reason, you know, of any not to bring a player on. You know, that tactically, if you like, that's what he wanted to do. You can't. This is where I fall down with Southgate, because you can't criticize him for tactically not getting it right, and then when he tactically does a move, which results in not getting beat, albeit it shouldn't be the aim, I guess. But you know, tactically, he didn't feel that was the right thing to do. So whether it was right or wrong, I'll let you decide. You watch more football than I do. Yeah, but
look, if Foden had come on, would we have won the game? Nobody knows that. He brought Rashford on.
We don't.
He brought Grealish on, and he probably thought they would have and he brought Henderson on. So he thought they were the right subs on the night, and we didn't lose that game. We have to sort of calm it down a little bit. I know everyone's disappointed, Martin, we didn't beat the USA, but we drew. We got a point. It's a point near a qualification. It's all about getting out the group first.
Yeah, manner of the performance though, like they were the closer team to winning.
I think the Yanks, if they'd have had a striker, if they'd have had someone up front, they might have beaten us. I think because they were a bit sort of toothless, sort of when it got to the 18-yard box. But look, they pressed us. We played too slow, didn't we, the other night? I think we have to play quicker tempo, move the ball. We didn't look. I think Southgate's a real. What's the word? He's loyal to his players. Whereas we beat Iran 6-2, and then he's not made any changes. Where I think in hindsight, he probably should have changed it. And we didn't have no energy, Martin, the other night. We looked flat, didn't we? For some reason, I don't know why, but I don't think we will tonight. I think we'll come out front foot. It's all about the first goal tonight. If England score first, Wales they've got no chance. If they score, they've got something to cling on to then.
Yeah, but then they've got to go on for 2 and 3 and 4, haven't they? That's the only beauty of it. Carl Brooks, Bellingham will break the lines. Hendo is in there to give us more defensive stability. With Mount on the side, it's just Rice sitting. Gareth's just taking no chances. STST, should we have given Keeper more time at Ipswich? I remember watching when the fans just basically loved every time he got the ball shouting off. Wouldn't have done this confidence any good. Yeah, I was going with the off, really.
I remember him coming on at Norwich. I can't remember the score.
Didn't win a fucking header, did he? That day.
No, he came off about 15 minutes. I thought, blimey, you're well out of your depth. But look, fair play to him because he's done well wherever he went to Barnsley, Rotherham, obviously Cardiff. Now he's playing in the Premier League. He's scoring goals for Bournemouth. So Mick obviously saw something in him, Martin, when he signed him, but we never see it at Town. And he's obviously improved wherever he's gone. And listen, he ain't going to get a sniff tonight. Harry Maguire,
let's see. STST phones our new Gascoigne away on his potential just the same. People forget Southgate got us to World Cup, says Carl Brooks, sent me in a Euro in the last 2 tournaments. Trust him. With this squad, though, I think, that's almost an underachievement, isn't it? This squad's ready to win something, isn't it?
Yeah, look, we can sit here and we can say we should have won the semi-final against Croatia. We should have beaten Italy, and we should have done. But then if you look at it, he's the most successful manager we've had since Sir Alf Ramsey, Martin. So it is a tricky one when you see people, get rid of Southgate, you don't know what he's doing. And then you look at his record. And then you could say that he did have a bit of an easy passage when you look at them fixtures from the last World Cup. You're playing teams like Panama, we didn't play anybody really, did we?
No.
And it was probably a missed opportunity. We should have won that Euros final. I think he obviously knows what he's doing. I think he's suited to international football, but it's tactically, when it comes to them moments and you need to change it up, it was like the other night. We all watched that game, second half, and the way they started that second half, the Americans, you're watching it thinking, make a change. It's the same what it was in the first half, and he keeps leaving it and leaving it. He left it to 65 minutes, and look, we got a draw.
I agree.
Fair enough. But he should have, I think, well, look, who are we to say, look, he should have done this, he should have done that. He's the guy.
We're paying public, Richard. It's our job to say.
He's the guy on the touchline making them decisions. It's just, I'm not worried about tonight against Wales. We've got enough to beat these. It's when we get later in the tournament, and hopefully we're going to get past, obviously, it'll be Senegal if we win the group. Then you play your Frances and your better teams. And that is when your substitutes, they'll change the game, Mike. They'll win you the game. We see it this season with Town, with them 5 subs. It's there. He's got them players. It's just sometimes I think, I don't know. He seems a little bit. I don't know. When you watch back that final against Italy, when you watch that semi-final against Croatia, you can sit there watching it and you know what's going to happen. You think they're on top, they're on top. But you could go back to Russia.
If you're really watching it, Rich, you will do, mate.
You could go back to the semi-final against Croatia. Harry Kane passes to Sterling. It's 2-0, and it's totally different, isn't it? It is totally different.
It is. I couldn't resist that little tap in there. You set it up for me. No, great point. Steve says they'll be going like either the engine for the first 15, then they'll fall apart when we score. Trevor says Southgate too cautious. I think he's very hesitant.
He's a defender. He's a defender. And that's, I think, sometimes his mindset. But listen, let's concentrate on tonight's game and let's get the job done.
Well,
beat Wales, top the group, and then we can all look forward to Sunday, hopefully.
That's it. Right, as we round up today's the pre-game show, we are back at full time. The moment the full time whistle goes, win, lose, or draw, qualification or not, we are live with the fan reaction. I'm sure many of you've seen what we do here before. But if you haven't, we have a live chat, live link. Get involved. Have your say. It's a little bit like Talk Sports, Sports Social. We just cram on in and we get talking. Might be good, might be bad, might be an indifferent. But here is the Wales squad: Ward, Williams, Mepham, Mepham rather, Roden, Davis, Ramsey, Ampadu, Allen, Bow, Moore, and James.
Nothing there. Nothing to fear in that lineup there.
I mean, there's, when I know a lot of players, that generally means they're either journeyman or lower level players in the main. Kiefer Moore, I know very well. James, he's played in the Premier League. Man United, wasn't he, for a time?
Yeah, Dan James is obviously now at Leeds. Yeah, he's at Leeds now. He's made.
Finally realised that dream, didn't he, of signing for Leeds?
No, he's at Fulham. He's at Fulham now.
That's right. But he wasn't. Did he sign for Leeds in the end? Because he was.
Yeah, on the documentary. I remember. I don't know if everyone's watched it. The Leeds. He's literally there on transfer deadline, and he's going to sign. He's going to sign for Leeds, and then he obviously doesn't sign, and then he goes back to Swansea. Then he went to United, didn't he? Then he went to Leeds, and now he's at Fulham. So, look, he's got a bit of pace. He's not a bad player, Martin, but don't worry about what Wales have got. Don't worry
Alan,
what Wales have got.
With 2 assists midweek in the last game for Wales, albeit the wrong direction. They were 2 assists, weren't they? He was at fault for both, wasn't he?
Joe Allen, look, he ain't played no football. That was his first minutes of the season.
Well,
Matt Phillips did say on the WhatsApp, I don't know if you remember the message, that we should sign him on loan. He said Joe Allen should sign for Town. I said, what? He's not played. He's not played. Where is Matt Phillips tonight, by the way?
Bath time.
Will he be joining us at full time? Do you think he'll be here at full? Probably not.
Don't know. Probably. Ramsey, obviously the epitome of a journeyman, and then the back four as such. Score prediction then, Richard, we close. Got 2-2 from Ian, 3-0 from Colin, 3-1 from Stephen, 2-1 from Emerson, 4-0 from the top shagger Carl Brooks, 2-1 from Lee Bayliss, 5-1 from Harry FC. Welcome in, Harry. 3-1 from Andy. Welcome in, Andy. 4-0. Wow, says Lee Bayliss.
I'll go 2-0. 2-0 England. Comfortable victory. Yeah, I'd set for 2-0. Keep a clean sheet. Like to see Foden get on the goal trail. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? You know, after all the build up, we hope that he has a good game because he's been talked up, and it's a big game for him because he's obviously chomping at the bit there the other night, sat on the bench, didn't get on. Now he's got the opportunity. He's got to grab it with both hands, mate.
He has. Yeah, absolutely. Bang on. I'm gonna go 4-0 to 4-0 England. Why not? 4-0 straight out the traps. Let's have it. Nice. Right, we're back at full time. That is your pre-game show. Enjoy the game, and we'll see you at full time.